right, let's get busy with 1961 and 1961 top set. I know it's what everybody's been waiting for 109 episodes. It's here finally, 1961 tops baseball set. This is a set of which I own 331 cards. So I'm getting there. Got them on my list of stuff to do, to pick up. I could be more active here. Not my favorite set. Same could be said for 1962, but we're talking 1961 for now. 595 total cards, according to Beckett OPG, for a value of $23.75 on average, $14,129 total value of all cards. $4,000 to $10,000 is a completion set premium here. The cards in this 587 card set measure 2.5 by 3.5, 1961 Topps return to the vertical obverse format. Introduced for the first time were league leaders 41 through 50 and separate numbered checklists. So baseball card history right before your eyes. Two number 463s exist. The Braves team card carrying that number was meant to be number 426. There are three versions of the second series checklist card, number 98. The variations are distinguished by the color of the checklist headline on the front of the card, the color of the printing of the card number on the bottom of the reverse, and the presence of the copyright notice running vertically on the card back. There are two groups of managers, 131 through 139 and 219 through 226, as well as separate subsets of World Series cards, 306 through 313, Baseball Thrills, 401 through 410, MVPs of the 1950s, AL 471 through 478, NL 479 through 486, and Sporting News All-Stars, 566 through 589. The usual last series scarcity exists. Some collectors believe that 61 high numbers are the toughest of all the Topps high series numbers. The set actually totals 587 cards since numbers 587 and 588 were never issued. These card advertising promos have been seen. Don Dobick, Russ Nixon, and the 60 NL pitching leaders on the front, along with an ad and Roger Maris on the back. Other strip features Jack Kralik, Dick Stigman, and Joe Christopher, or Ed Roebuck, Bob Schmidt, and Zoilo Versace. Lindy McDaniel shows Larry, John Blanchard, and Johnny Cox have no idea. Oh, Lindy shows Larry. I'm sorry. That's a multiplayer card, obviously. Cards were issued in penny packs, 5-card and nickel packs, 10-cent cello packs, which came 36 to a box, and 36-card rack packs, which cost 29 cents. The 1-card packs came 120 to a box. The key rookie cards in this set are Juan Marichal, Ron Santo, and the wonderfully gorgeous Billy Williams. 65 rookie cards, according to Beckett OPG. Who's going to bet me that Mickey Mantle isn't the top one in this this bunch of 587 cards? Let's see. Let's roll the dice here, spin the wheel, see what happens. I'm sure it's a pair of Mickey Mantle cards, if you ask me. Let's see. Beckett OPG, Mickey Mantle, card number 300, Mickey Mantle All-Star card 578, and Mickey Mantle MVP card number 475. I don't have the All-Star, but I have the other two. So Willie Mays comes in third with Juan Marichal's rookie as well. Let's look at TCDB, 587 total cards. Let's see here. Let's learn about the teams, of course. We have the Orioles, Braves, Red Sox, Dodgers, Cubs, White Sox, Reds, Indians, Tigers, Athletics, Angels, Dodgers, Braves, Twins. Twins are here. Giants, Highlanders, Yankees, Athletics of Philadelphia, Phillies, Pirates, Giants, Cardinals, and Senators. So obviously we have some old timers in here as well. Errors and variations. There are 17 of them. Of course, the checklist is a big one. Bobby Shantz has some printing stuff going on there, as does the card number 47, the National League 1960 pitching leaders. Some printing shenanigans there as well. 85 Hall of Famers, including individual cards, all-star cards, highlights cards, team leader cards, and cards such as the Reds Heavy Artillery featuring Gus Bell, Vada Pinson, and Frank Robinson. So lots of everything here, multiplayer cards. Again, our first individual checklists, our first league leader cards, all that fun stuff. Rookies, 65 of them in total. Too many to name, but we already mentioned some of the biggies. There are Magic rub-offs and stamps from this year that we may or may not get into. I'm not quite sure what my inventory is of that stuff. Comments, let's go to them. There are a lot of comments about 61 Topps. It's been a while, so I'm not 100% sure if this was my first pack I opened or set I wanted to collect. But if not, it would have been the 1960 Topps. The fun part as well was how I raised the funds to buy them, which was collecting empty pop bottles, which was either a 1 cent or 2 cent return deposit. The huge number of stars in these sets was amazing. So Stephen T, being very ambiguous there, telling us if it were, how he would have. And get your facts straight there, Stephen T, before you put pen to paper, please. Norm's card says a ton of hatless wonders in this set. Among the Twins, the expansion Senators, and Angels, tough to find a guy with a hat or a hat that's not airbrushed. So I agree with Norm's card. Ernie Banks comes to mind, of course. Willie Mays, not one of his most flattering cards, but there are a bunch of hatless players here. I'm not quite sure why we would have chose to depict legends like that without their hats, because they were going nowhere. I could see Twins, Angels, and stuff like that, but why do that with Ernie and Willie? Probably Ernie's worst card. Not that it's a bad card, but certainly not his best. KS Killman 42, very aggressive name, says this is the first set I completed. I started as a kid when the cards were new, and fortunately, my mother never threw them away. Actually, she never threw anything much away, but that's a different story. When the hobby got hot again in the early 1980s, I got all my cards and eventually finished the set. It went in a binder and up on a shelf while I collected a lot of other things. Only recently have I thought about the errors and variations that have surfaced since I worked on the set. So I'm starting to track those down now. I do have a question about card number 461. It shows shows here as Smokey Burgess, but I have a Mickey Mantle Thrills card with that number. It's not shown as a duplicate number or error in the database. Any ideas? Phil says this set is from my birth year. Conservative, but nice design. The picture takes up most of the front, which is nice. Round of Diamonds back, one of the last 60 sets I started collecting, along with the 1964 Topps set. Reds fan says this is the first set of cards I ever bought. I thought it was neat because some of the packs were wrapped in cellophane. I could see at least two of the cards, and I bought packs with cards I needed. I was 9, and I bought them at a local drugstore. I still bought the other packs because of the gum, though. Packaging, as we say, beautiful classic box there, sort of a mustard, gray Poupon vibe. Topps baseball extra feature in every pack. Just, I think it's a gorgeous display. There's a Topps stamp album that came separately, I guess, at 10 cents. So we have the 5-cent box, we have the 1 cent pack box, same kind of setup, more boxy than rectangular like the 5-cent boxes. There is a case of 5-cent boxes here, 24 boxes in a case, and then the stamps and the wrappers. The wrappers are cool, yellow and red. I think that works together with the black 5-cent wrappers. Of course, it tells us there's a baseball stamp album only for 10 cents. Ask your storekeeper for this special album. All the usual top stuff, boasting about how their government, official government colors that they're using, U.S. certified. So proud of them again. Cello packs are there, plain and simple. There are the rack packs again and again. What I find fascinating about the rack packs is it's made by the Trading Card Guild, not necessarily Topps. So there was something going on there in Brooklyn because the Trading Card Guild is in Brooklyn, and it says TCG. If you shorten Trading Card Guild, it says TCG, right? If you shorten Topps Chewing Gum, it says TCG. So there were some shenanigans going on. I don't know whether it was an umbrella company or what, but there was some stuff going on. The stamp album is displayed. I'll have to dig into that. We'll see what happens in the future with 1961 top stamps. Sell sheets and ads. More fun for the youngsters, more sales for you. Topps 1961 baseball trading cards. There is a rack pack depicted, which solves that mystery, I guess. So it says full color photos of Major League Big Stars, year by year player records on each card, comical cartoons about players' career, most complete series ever. The trivia section, ooh, it is long. First set to include Los Angeles Angels and Minnesota Twins cards. First set that featured checklist, league leaders, and Topps rookie All-Star trophy cards. Hall of Fame rookie cards for Billy Williams, Ron Marichal, and Ron Santo. Set featured 6 different Mickey Mantle cards. Frank Howard was named to the 1960 Topps All-Star rookie team, but his card number 280 is missing the trophy designation. Cards 426, 587, and 588 were not issued. Number 426 was supposed to be the Braves team. That card was instead issued in 463, the same as Jack Fisher. Sherman Jones's card, number 161, is actually Eddie Fisher, who was married to Debbie Reynolds. The card for Dutch Doderer, card number 332, shows his twin brother, Tommy, instead. First set to include the new Washington Senators, an expansion team to replace the team that moved and became the Minnesota Twins. Packs of cards also contained 2 Topps stamps. The stamps could be collected into an album, which was available for an additional 10 cents. So much information in here. I really appreciate the contributors to TCDB. Let's look at some of the cards. It is a classic set, understated, as someone said, but effective. Big picture, white borders, player's name and rank in the bottom left in a colored box, and bottom right, their team name, city, and nickname in there. Roger Maris is card number 2. Of course, he was coming off an MVP season and would have another MVP season in 1961. All sorts of Connie Mack Stadium going on there. Lenny Green looks like he's somebody just put him in the middle of a baseball field. He doesn't know what to do. He's got no hat. He's got an expression on his face like, what am I doing here? Get me out of here. Johnny Romano, great Cleveland Indians uniform. That's Chief Wahoo on his sleeve. I know this. Ed Roebuck throwing the ball by something. Team cards are interesting. They are kind of cutouts with superimposed on a colored background. Dick Williams out there, Kansas City Athletics, in what looks like to be our beloved departed Comiskey Park. And that's one of the fun things here. Topps would get a little mundane later on with their continually depicting either Bay Area or New York area ballparks, but everything was still in play. I'm at the team leaders, the league leaders, 1960 strikeout leaders. 4 players on that card. One of them's airbrushed in there because he's now a Minnesota Twin. So that's Ramos. But Jim Bunning is your leader. Ramos, Early Wynn, and Larry from Detroit. Detroit was rocking with the pitchers back then, apparently. And the backs of those cards depict the yearly strikeout leaders in that respective league. The team leaders have the stats from the previous years, I think. Well, that's not necessarily true. Detroit Tigers, for instance, does depict some of your team leaders, but also, for some reason, the pitching record versus opposing clubs is laid out for each of their pitchers. Again, not a lot of hats in this series because of the thrill of expansion and relocation. So, not a lot of biographical information. It's more like a couple lines if we're lucky, because, again, they were knocking out career statistics on the back of these cards. But I'll talk about Topps number 93, Tony Gonzalez, Philadelphia Phillies outfielder. He's 5'8.5", weight 172, bats left, throws right. Born August 20-something, 1936 in Camagüey, Cuba. When the Philadelphia owners were looking for a good young outfielder to fit in with their new youth movement, they spotted Tony Gonzalez. He was playing for the Reds. He was then playing for the Reds. So they poached him, and he spent 1960 shuttling between Cincinnati and Philadelphia. There's a series of cartoons on the back. I can't read them because they're not scanned in there very good. Maybe if I click the button, it'll make it easier for me. Probably not. Anyway, cartoons on the back, fun stuff. The cards on the back, kind of a olive green with a lot of black ink. So that's the theme there. Checklist number 98 is kind of interesting. It's got a couple players. Perhaps there's a pitching change or they're throwing the ball back into the infield, but they're clearly at Wrigley Field, and it's a fun little card to see on a checklist. So that's card number 98. Interesting little checklist card. They're all there, folks. Your stars from the 50s and the 60s, some new teams. The All-Star cards are interesting, red, white, and blue. Paul Richards is depicted much better than his 1951 Bowman, that's for sure. Much easier on the eyes. But the manager cards are all there for you to enjoy. Again, All-Star cards, team cards, and MVP cards, which I have a few of those for sure. They're fun to look at as well. Yeah, let's keep going down here, see if we can find some bangers or players. We're in page number 28 right now, and we're still halfway through the set. So yeah, the checklist cards are pretty cool. There's pitching change going on somewhere, I guess in Pittsburgh as well, depicted on one of the checklists. So the World Series cards are cool. Nice little sort of photograph action. I'm sure they're embellished by the paintbrush, but the 60 World Series with depicting the Yankees and the Pirates, a nice shot of Forbes Field there in card number 306. Mickey Mantle slamming 2 home runs. Of course, the Yankees clobbered the Pirates in the 60 World Series, but the Pirates ended up winning more baseball games, which I'm told is more important than scoring more total runs in a series. So anyway, that is your 1961. Look at Ernie Banks looking like he doesn't want to be there, which is odd for Ernie Banks because he's usually a wonderful, wonderful photographic exhibit. 1961 rookie star on there on Howie Bedell. Of course, Carl Yastrzemski, that's his first year. He also has that designation, even though he's got a rookie card from the year before. Bob Clemente makes an appearance on card number 38. And even for, Roberto Clemente, he looks pretty sad. So interesting cards, dual player cards there. Don Cardwell and Glenn Hobby for the Cubs. Fun set, big set. And we're off and running in the 1960s with the baseball cards. So that's it. That's your 1961 Topps Baseball Basement Tapes number 109.